You can see I'm in my polo shirt today. It's because I'm heading off to school in a little while to give this story as an assembly. I will be doing that for about 300 children. So here we go with today's story. David the Stonecutter. David was a stonecutter. He worked with a hammer and a chisel, and he would go to a cliff or a mountain and he would cut out a block of stone and bring it back to his workshop. And there he would work. Tap tap here and tap tap there, and revealing amazing things. A lion, a bird in flight, a person, a building, incredible, amazing sculptures. And people used to tell him, David, you are so talented. I wish I had a talent like yours. I wish I could be like you. But David wasn't happy. You see, David worked for a merchant, and the merchant sold the stone carvings, and one of his customers was the king. And David looked at the merchant's life and he said, wow, that's freedom. He gets to go before the king. No stuck in a workshop for him. That's power. He gets to sell things to the king, and look at the money he's got. That's what I want to be like. And one day, at the end of his work, he took his tools and he laid them out on his bench, ready for the following morning. I wish I was like the merchant, he said to himself. And almost before the words had finished coming out of his mouth, there was a puff of smoke and a genie appeared, to David's amazement. And the genie said, "It is as you have wished." It was. David had become the merchant, and for days he was happy, living in the merchant's fine house with his fine wife, eating fine food and drinking fine wine, and wearing fine clothes that had been specially made for him. He was happy until one day he saw the king pass by with his entourage, and he looked and he thought, that's freedom. He doesn't have to work and sell things. That's power. Look at him with all those people following him. That's what I want to be like. And almost before the words had finished coming out of his mouth, there was a puff of smoke, and to David's amazement, a genie appeared. And the genie said, "It is as you have wished." And it was. David had become the king. And for weeks, David was happy. He had servants to do everything for him. He was not eating fine food now. He was eating the finest food, drinking the finest wine, living in the finest palace in many nations around that area. He would walk in the palace gardens. He would do whatever he wanted to do. And for weeks, he was happy. Until one day, when he was taking one of those walks in the palace garden, and the sun was shining, and it was getting hot, and he was wearing his fine cloak, covered in fur and jewels. And he thought, you know what? I'm getting awfully hot out here. I think I need to go inside and change my clothes. And he thought, wow, nobody else can tell me what to do. Nobody gets to do that to the king but the sun. The sun can make me change my clothes and go and fetch a drink of water. That's power. And look at it, the freedom it has. No stuck to the ground. It goes round and round in the sky every single day. That's what I want to be like. And sure enough, before the words had finished coming out of his mouth, there was a puff of smoke, and to David's amazement, a genie appeared. And the genie said, "It is as you have wished." And it was. David had become the son. And for months he was happy. Round and round the earth he went, giving light to all upon it. And he was happy. The people were thankful to him for the light he gave them to do their work. The farmers were thankful to him for the way he helped their crops to grow. And he was happy until one day a cloud appeared and came between David and the people. And he looked and he watched the cloud as lightning flashed and thunder roared and rain fell. And he thought, wow, that's freedom. None of this stuck to the same track going round and round every day. That cloud gets to go wherever it wants. And what power to even be able to block out the sun. That's what I want to be like. And sure enough, before the words had finished coming out of his mouth, there was a puff of smoke and the genie appeared again. And David was still amazed. It is as you have wished, he said. And it was. David had become the cloud. And he rained on people. He enjoyed raining on people. He enjoyed making them run for their umbrellas and their coats. He even enjoyed making them run for their lives as he turned puddles into oceans and wiped away whole forests with a flood. But he also enjoyed the thankfulness of the farmers as he helped their crops to grow. And he was happy for months, many months. He went where he wanted, he did what he wanted, until one day David came across a mountain. I'll wash this away. I've washed hills away before, I can wash this away, no problem. So he tried. And he rained on the mountain. And he rained some more. And he rained some more. And the mountain did not move. It did not matter what David did, how much rain he poured down, how much thunder and lightning he created. The mountain did not move. Wow, said David. That's freedom. It doesn't have to go anywhere, it just stands there. That's power. Even I can't wash it away. That's what I want to be like. And sure enough, before the words had finished coming out of his mouth, there was a puff of smoke. And to David's amazement, the genie appeared again. It is as you have wished, he said. Sure enough it was. David had become the mountain. And for weeks he was happy, standing strong, standing proud. He enjoyed the people who would come and gaze up at him in amazement. He enjoyed the people who would even attempt to climb up the side of him. He enjoyed watching the birds of prey as they circled around the top. And for weeks he was happy as the mountain, until one day a man appeared, and the man was carrying some tools in his hands, a hammer and a chisel. And the man didn't gaze up adoringly at the top of the mountain, and the man did not attempt to climb the mountain. The man walked to the edge of the base of the mountain, sat himself down, and began with his hammer and his chisel to remove a block of stone. David was amazed. What freedom, he said. What power. gets to go where he wants, no stuck in one place. And the power involved in being able to remove a piece of me. That cloud couldn't do it. Nothing's been able to do it. And here is this little man with his little tools and his little strength. And he can take a piece of me away. That is true freedom. That is true power. That's what I want to be like. And sure enough, before the words had finished coming out of his mouth, there was a puff of smoke. And to David's amazement, although I'm not sure why he is still amazed at this point, the genie appeared again. It is as you have wished. And it was. David was once again the stonecutter. And now he understood. Now he had learned that if he could not be content with what he was, he would never be content.